video, right? She's a mom, she has children, and she has a friend who is not married and does not have any kids. And she's basically been like, after talking to her friend, she's so grateful that she has children and that she gets to go home to her babies and wake up and take them to soccer practice early in the morning. Like, she couldn't imagine. And I really need people with kids to remember this one thing. People who don't have kids still have to engage with children. Yeah, I know it's shocking. We still have siblings. We still have little cousins. We still have, neighbors. We still teach kids. Like, we still have children in our lives. I don't have any kids myself, but guess who still wakes up on Saturday and Sunday to go to soccer games and basketball games and softball games and gymnastics? Me. We are not devoid of interactions with kids because we didn't birth one. I don't know why y'all act like we just live in a damn dungeon and we don't know children. We still watch them. We still spend time with them. We still talk to kids. Like, relax. You're not the only one.
Continue to say it's a flex to say that you do not have kids if you do not want kids. I'm just going to Walmart to get me some pancakes because I'm about to make me a bomb breakfast. And I had to go to the school supply section because I needed some more notepads because I like to journal. So as I'm coming down the aisle, it's a lady and her 3 kids. One's outside the cart and 2's inside the cart. One of the kids in the cart is jumping up and down. The lady, she's like telling them to stop, but kids are being kids. So he's jumping. The boy jumps and lands right on top of the eggs. The eggs bust out of the carton all over the school supplies that's already in the cart. All over the food, everything, eggs is everywhere, and the kid got eggs all over his shoes. The mom just stopped and she's just looking up at the ceiling like, and as I'm walking past, I'm just like, no kids. No kids. And I'm going to continue to say it's a flex if you don't have them and you don't want them right now.
Hi, are you having kids?
No, I'm not having kids.
Why don't you want kids?
I can't afford them. I'm not healthy enough to have them. I don't have enough patience.
I mean, if you can't have them, you can just adopt or foster.
So it's not that I can't have kids, it's just I don't want them. Like, it's my choice. So that includes adoption and fostering.
The birth rate is low. We need more kids for the population.
Yeah, so we're actually overpopulated on this planet. As humans, we are destroying it as well. So there's really no need to add on top.
The government needs you to contribute to the army. I mean, humanity.
I do contribute to society. I mean, I pay taxes, I work, I volunteer, I have my own nonprofit.
The government will help you.
And so if I have a child, the government will help me.
If you have a baby, the government will help you, but then we'll shame you for it.
So you want me to have the child, get on government assistance, and then you're gonna shame me for it? Well, then I just won't have the child.
No, you can't do that. We took that away.
What do you mean?
I mean, it is by states, but that doesn't matter to us. We're gonna take it all away eventually.
That's a shitty thing to do. Yeah, you're a shitty person.
The greater good.
The greater what?
The greater good.
But what does it mean?
The greater good.
Can you stop saying the greater good?
The greater good.
What the fuck does that mean?
All the men in my comments collectively lost their minds when I said that I'm 32 and I'm not a mother. And not only that, I have no desire to have children. But you want to know something else? Something else for y'all to lose y'all's minds over? I don't date fathers. I don't date men that have kids. Period.
The type of people I do not understand are the people that when you tell them you don't want children, like you do not plan on having kids, it's not in the future, it's not in the cards, it's a no. It's a no, okay? And they say, that's what you think for now. You're going to change your mind later. You're just saying that right now. It's like, I said I don't want children. Why are you trying to fight?
You have to understand something. When people are fighting you, they're fighting themselves. You get what I'm saying? They're fighting everything that they were told about having kids. That they were told when they were kids, oh, get married, have kids, have a bunch of kids, live happily ever after in your white picket fence. Well, now they're finding out they didn't have to do any of that. They didn't have to do any of that shit, and they're mad at you because you went the other way. The way they wish they went.
You don't have kids of your own. Do your nieces and nephews make you want to have kids or no?
So a few weeks ago, my brother called me to ask for my professional opinion on Travel Tuesday, and he was planning to go to Bali. He's a parent of 2 that are under 10, and he was going with his friends that also have kids that are all under 10. So when he said he wanted to go to Bali, I was like, are the kids going? And he was like, no, it's an adult only trip. It's like, okay. So I said, how long are you going to be there? And he said 7 days is how much time that we can take. My brother does work for himself, and so does some of the other people that were going on the trip, but he just didn't want to be away from the kids for more than 7 days. So I was like, okay. And I said, well, it takes at least a day to get there and at least a day to get back, because they're located near my hometown, which is in New Jersey. And I said, okay, that leaves you with 5 days out of your 7 days, but then there's also a 12-hour time difference. So do you plan on sleeping? And he said, yes, it's vacation. I said, okay, great. So you're going to at least have 1 day where you're going to be resting out of those 5 days. So it's really 4 days. And he said, well, we don't really want to be on a flight for that long. So how about we break up the travel so that we can stop somewhere that's like kind of midway? And I was like, oh, you were interested in Istanbul. So how about you stop in Istanbul? And he was like, okay. And I was like, all right, so how long do you want to be there? And he was like, well, at least a day and a half. And I was like, okay, let's round up to 2. So we went from 5 days in Bali to now 2.5-ish because of the stop and also the rest days. So as I'm explaining this to him, I'm like, yeah, I don't really think this is feasible unless you want to extend your trip. Before we had this whole talk, I already knew I wasn't going to have kids, but that conversation solidified it for me, because there is no way I'm going to fly across the world to be there for 3 days. Now, if you're someone that's done that before, guess what? I don't care, and I'm not talking to you. But if you've been following me for a while, then you probably know that I plan my trips like days, if not a week, maybe before they happen sometimes. So there is no way I would give up what I currently have to not only have children, but to raise them. That's a whole different story. And I thoroughly believe that my nieces and nephews are the best kids on this planet, but I would never, ever have children, ever.
Childfree by choice. Sometimes I make content about this, and I follow other people who make content on this topic, and it blows my mind why parents feel the need to say the things and stuff that they say in the comments on those accounts. Recently, I've been following this hilarious guy named John T, who talks about being over 35 and not having kids. Because he has kids, so he wants to know what it's like to not have kids. I'll tag him so you can check out his stuff. In one of his recent posts, he was inquiring what it's like not to have kids in a certain situation. So I replied from my perspective saying what it was like. It was something about like going on vacation with kids. And I said, well, I'm child free and I choose to live somewhere where people go on vacation. So I live in paradise 365 days a year, child free, having a blast, doing whatever I want, whenever I want. And someone came in the comments and was like, good for you, LOL. I replied back and said, yes, good for me. That's the whole point. Of course, there are parents who don't make these snide type comments, who are like, yeah, like, that's awesome that you don't have kids and that you get to do all those things and that stuff. What's up with the parents who get so worked up and offended by us who have chosen not to have kids and live the life that we live? Are you jealous?
If you're an aunt or an uncle and you don't have kids,
I'm really gonna let y'all know right now, the child-free people are not mad at the people with kids. We're not. Because what's worse than having a long ass day at work, working 8 hours, 12 hours, you don't feel good, your head hurt, and you gotta come home and hear mommy, mommy, mom. No, y'all can have that. Y'all can have that. I'm about to go in my house, pour me a glass of wine, and sit in silence for an hour because I can. Because I can. That's what y'all be mad at. Y'all just want some, y'all want some peace and quiet too. And y'all be upset that y'all can't get that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Drop them kids off to the grandparents. Drop them off to daddy. Get you some peace and quiet. Because mothers, you need it. Don't go crazy. Don't crash out. Get you some peace and quiet. Because best believe the people who don't got kids, we fucking love it.
Interview for a nanny job, and one of the questions that the family asked me was if I wanted kids, and if I didn't, then I wouldn't be the right candidate for the job. And they basically said, if you don't like kids, then how on earth do you like your job? And it just got me thinking that I believe there might be a misconception about the people that would like to be child free. I love my job. I've been a nanny for 9 years. I adore kids. They are so precious. But my job has also shown me how difficult it is to be a parent and how time consuming it is. And it's more so the lifestyle that I think my husband and I are a little turned off by, because we really like our freedom. We like a very chill, relaxed type of life. And I don't think raising a kid really fits into the type of life that we want to live. But that's not to say that we don't love children. And it just got me thinking, because I don't know. I like wonder how many people feel this way or think this way. Or if you don't want any kids, if it is because you don't like kids. So I'm just curious to hear your thoughts or what people think about this topic.